want to hit on the big stories today. I'm probably going to lean into football, right? Football's the big thing, and the Olympics coming up right behind that. Pretty exciting times. I can't wait till we get to the Olympics. But before we get there, we're going to get to the Super Bowl. And between now and then, we've got an interesting weekend coming because we have to determine who gets there. I'm not going to spend long on this, but I do want to talk a couple of quick things because this year, it might be one of those years where it's not necessarily about who the best team is. It's about the one who in the locker room says, you know what? This is my movie. We're going to star in this movie today. Takes that into the tunnel and puts it on the field. We really are at that place because when I get to the end of kind of where I'm picking and why, you'll see why I say that. It's about a vibe this year. We'll start in Denver. Broncos defense, they are lights out. Acting like they were built in a lab. It's some kind of craziness over there. They hit, they swarm, they make quarterbacks resent their childhood. It's ugly when they get going. They got a quarterback who hasn't thrown a football since what, 2019? Something like that? Bro, a lot of questions. It's kind of like finding out all of a sudden Steve Perry's not going to play tonight for Journey and you're going to fill in, right? Big shoes this season. What you got? We're going to find out. I don't know. I don't know if I want to fill in for Steve Perry. Not this season. We'll see. Meanwhile, Drake May's over there playing with the worst kind of energy. He's playing with the, I don't know, I'm supposed to be nervous energy. That's troublesome, right? That's like, oh no, this is just what I do. Confidence. That's a bad day right there. And I'm not sure you're going to beat Drake May in that confidence. I'm just telling you. Seattle doesn't feel really like a team, does it? Feels more like a group project where everybody had an assignment and everyone did it. And it worked. Kind of weird over there. They run the ball like they're mad at the ground. Their defense plays like every other player owes them money. I mean, they are charging the ball. And Sam Darnold is sitting in the perfect zone. Nobody's asking him to be a hero. Just a responsible adult. He's crushing it. I think it's Patriots versus Seahawks. What's Denver going to do? Bo Nix, broken ankle-ish, he's finished. Jarrett Stidham, that's a tall order. I'm not saying he can't do it, just saying it's not likely. So likely the Patriots will walk through that game. Then it's the Seahawks versus the Rams. I really don't know about that one. I really don't know. I think the Seahawks are really tough right now. It's like running into a buzzsaw. Sam Darnold got something to prove, and all of a sudden they're proving it. The whole team's decided they're proving it. Super Bowl, Patriots and the Seahawks. America is not ready for the Patriots to be back in the Super Bowl. We're just not. We spent a decade emotionally processing that era. We healed. We grew. We told ourselves, it's a new NFL. It ain't. I just saw today, in USA Today, the list of the most hated teams in sports history. The Yankees, sure they're there. The Pistons, yep. Duke basketball, oh yeah. Who's in third place? You guessed it. The New England Patriots. We don't like the New England Patriots because they won a lot. That's not a ranking, that's a lifestyle. Like the sequel nobody asked for, but yet somehow still makes $1 billion. Because the Patriots in the Super Bowl isn't a game anymore. It's a national flashback. You can feel it. Half the country is checking the calendar again. They're like, wait, is this 2016? Are we stuck in a time loop? It's so evident that on Facebook right now, we're posting look like 2016. Post your 2016 pictures here. Yeah, everyone knows we're in a time loop. ESPN's excited though, because think about it. They don't have to build new graphics. They can just blow the dust off of that old Tom Brady stuff and pull it out of the closet and go, let's hit play. That's it. That's all they got to do. Gets us up to game time. Rest of America is going to sit here with that same feeling you get. You know how when you go into a bar, you're like, I need to unwind. You look over in the corner and who's sitting there? Your boss. All of a sudden, that ain't a safe space no more, is it? It's HR with appetizers, so you ready to get out. At this point, the Patriots don't chase the Super Bowl, they schedule it. And we don't watch it, we endure it. The Patriots in the Super Bowl is like seeing your ex at a wedding. You thought you got over him, but it turns out you didn't. The NFL promised us a new era, and 5 minutes later, the New England Patriots are back like, you miss us? At this point, the Super Bowl should just come with a reserved parking spot for the Patriots. The Patriots being back is the sports version of Netflix asking, are you still watching? Yes, unfortunately, yes. Some teams chase the Lombardi, but the Patriots just put it on layaway. By the way, thank you for spending time with us. My name is Bud like the beer, Ford like the truck. Now, I was talking on this, if you're following me and hanging along with these, I was talking about the new lighter portions menu that Olive Garden has gotten into. I always say here in America, we don't have a food problem, we have a portion problem. It feels like they're trying to feed two of me every time I sit down. So their lighter portions menu is scheduled to roll out nationwide by the end of this month. So this is not an ad. I don't care. I just want to say that I wound up at Olive Garden the other night. And here's the deal with Olive Garden. I don't seek Olive Garden. I'm not out looking for it because I think the level of quality between it and Carrabba's is massive. Like Carrabba's is just a better place the whole vibe is better. That being said, we had ridden around town and there was a football game on and people were tied up everywhere, all these sports bar type places, and any place that basically had a bar was going to be packed. So my girl was like, hey, let's go over here to Olive Garden. You know, there's nobody here, of course. So we went into the Olive Garden. We were able to get seated, no problem. I jokingly say that it was actually busy. So I got ready to get sat down, and the dude that was doing the sitting had me all signed up. He's ready to go. And then I looked over and I saw in the bar they had a TV and the playoffs were on. And I talked to the bartender and I said, what if I just sit here? The bartender lady was like, absolutely. So I went over to him to be nice and I said, hey, me and my girl are going to sit here at the bar. If you could take us off the list, that'll help you expedite the process for everyone else. He started side-eyeing me. He said, we're not a sports bar. And I said, the game's on, bro. I'm going to sit here and watch this. It made my man mad. It completely disrupted his whole process, and I felt bad for it for exactly no seconds. Bro, get over it. It's football. I'm a man. It's what I do. Sorry. What they've done is they've taken a whole group of popular menu items and dumped them down into smaller portions, and they're running about $13 to $15, and those same menu items will run $16 to $23 is what they say. But here's what I noticed. Last night, the meal that I wanted was in a lighter portion, and it went from $21 to $13.99. So I was like, okay, that's a pretty good deal. Now, chicken parm's on there, eggplant parm, that's what my girl got. She said it was fantastic. The lasagna classico is on there, the 5-cheese ziti. I'm not Italian. My parlez-vous is poor in my francais. The cheese ravioli was on there. I had the spaghetti and meatballs, and the fettuccine alfredo is also on there. Now, you could add a protein to that for like $4. Even when you do that, you're only at 18. You get a smaller portion, but still, the 21, all of a sudden, it's a pretty good difference. We got out with a total meal price of $33 plus tax for 2 of those. Now, I'm not a huge eater, but I was full. I wasn't overstuffed. I didn't get to bring home any leftovers. So that's kind of the difference. If you like bringing home the leftovers, this may not be the deal for you. But the portion was pretty good. In fact, when I walked away, I was like, I'm okay. I'm not hungry. It's fine. And it's actually one of those deals where if you wanted to start fitting dessert back in, this cuts the price down to where you could fit the dessert back in into the same basic dollar figure. Because, you know, dessert went from $3.99 to what now is $11.99, kind of on the base price. And they also had drink specials. I didn't drink any of them, but they had some specials going on with that too. So they're trying to entice you to come back in with some smaller fares and some lower prices. It worked for me. I didn't seek them out, but I might. I would be interested in going back and getting the fettuccine alfredo and adding some chicken and broccoli. The cost would still end up being about $4 or $5, maybe $6 cheaper. So it's kind of neat. I just wanted to say I was making jokes about it the other day, but the fact is I went and tried it, and it was very, very good. If you go to Vegas, or if that's your scene, I'm not really a gambler, but I like to go to Vegas on occasion because it's just a fun place. And I'm only a few hours drive from there, so I can just zip on over if I want in my flight. If I wanted to fly over, there's like $25. Now I got to deal with the FAA and all that garbage, but still, It's pretty cheap if I wanted to get over there. It's condition critical in Vegas. They are missing a whole lot of people, and they spent a whole lot of money to get them there. They were even considerably down with the sold-out Las Vegas Grand Prix that happened. It was a mess because the 3-day race drew like 300,000 people, but that didn't translate into a broader tourism gain for them. So they've been in sort of a mess. They flagged the decline earlier this year and really started tracking it and made it public. Now, one of the guys that runs Circa Resort and Casino, he was saying that he thinks the drop is tied to global economics and exchange rates. That's possible. There's a lot of reasons why that could be going on. There's also some discussion about international foot traffic being lighter, especially Asian tourists. The reason nobody's going to Vegas anymore is because the casinos stopped smelling like cigarettes and bad decisions. Once you took away the grandmas puffing Winston's holding an oxygen machine and a slot card, all of a sudden the economy collapsed. It's not as fun anymore. Vegas accidentally became healthy. Nobody wants to walk 10 miles indoors to see quinoa on a menu. The reason nobody's going to Vegas anymore is because there's nowhere left to smoke, sin, or lie to yourself comfortably. You can't even ruin your life anymore without somebody politely redirecting you. Another reason people aren't going to Vegas anymore is because the buffets have lost their mystery. They used to feel illegal. Now, they feel like an airport lounge with crab legs. People stopped going to Vegas because Vegas used to sell, "Wake up, you might be married." Now, it's more like, "Please scan this QR code." Another reason people stopped going to Vegas: everything requires a reservation. Vegas was built on impulse, regret, and loose morals, not open table. Another reason nobody goes to Vegas anymore is because they priced out the very people who kept the lights on. Vegas survived on retirees, truckers, conventioners, and divorced guys named Carl, not influencers. Another reason people have stopped going to Vegas is because Vegas stopped pretending it was for everybody. It used to say, "Come as you are." Now it says, "What's your credit score?" The city forgot its job. Vegas isn't supposed to impress you, it's supposed to enable you. Another reason people aren't going to Vegas is because legal weed killed the pilgrimage. It turns out if you can make bad decisions at home, Vegas lost its edge. And the real reason people have stopped going to Vegas is because Vegas used to be a pressure release valve. Now it feels more like a subscription service. Thank you for spending time with me today. It's Bud like the beer, Ford like the truck. You can find me online at Bud Ford Comedy. Have a great day.